Good morning everyone, good evening, and good afternoon to viewers from all walks of life. This is Densamos, and you're welcome to the channel of truth, enlightenment, freedom, and the channel of breaking empaths free. If you are new, on this channel I talk about narcissism and narcissistic abuse, I talk about spirituality, and I talk about personal and self-development. And if any of that resonates with you, I invite you guys to join us. Give us a like, share the video with friends, and you may subscribe if you haven't already. And for those that have always been with us, you are welcome back. And I thank you for your love and support. The black sheep is the sacrificial lamb. We are going to talk about the dynamics of the dysfunctional family. And I'm continuously going to give you guys updates of the things, of course, that whatever comes to my mind, I'll always come out here and let you guys know exactly what you're dealing with. Because recently, a lot of black sheep are waking up and realizing that actually there have always been the black sheep in those families. We're talking about dysfunctional families. It may be very hard to swallow, guys. It's going to be always very hard to swallow that all this time the people have been involved with, they've usually been taking advantage of you. They've been doing all these kind of things, mistreating you, you know what I mean, abusing you, and all these kind of toxic habits. So it will come to that point whereby you will come to that realization that you have been the black sheep. But again, we have to understand that in the dysfunctional family, like I've said, you guys already know, at the top there is the narcissistic parent who is responsible for distributing these particular different roles within different members of the family. Because you guys already know, again, dysfunctional families usually they may not necessarily have a lot of members, but a lot of dysfunctional families, they're going to have a lot of family members within those units. So the black sheep usually, like you guys already know, again, it is that guy who is that man or woman, the child who always takes the whole family baggage, and they are the ones who carry the cross. So by that, what I mean is that those are the guys who have got to take blame of all the dysfunction what is happening in that family. Because remember, this is already dysfunction. This is already a dysfunction going on, and for somehow the narcissistic parents at the top, they have got to protect this family at all costs. So for them to protect that family at all costs, because remember, they are already dysfunctional first of all, so they have got their own issues that they've always been dealing with. So what they do now is that they appoint a specific member in that family. This can be, normally the black sheep is only one in that family. So for a person to get a role of a black sheep, it is only when that black sheep leaves the family. Like now I've just said to you guys, a lot of guys are waking up. So normally what they do, they usually leave those units. So what happens is that now the narcissistic parent at the top, they appoint a new member who is now going to come in and replace that role of being a black sheep. Because a dysfunctional family has got to survive with a black sheep. There has got to be somebody who has got to take emotional baggage, even sometimes physical baggage within that family. So normally the person who is appointed to carry the cross is the lost child. So that is the child or the forgotten child. I think you guys have seen my video about the lost child that I did before. So normally when the black sheep leaves that family unit, the narcissistic parent will turn around and appoint a new member in that family. They may sometimes try to go and appoint, they may try to go ahead and appoint the golden child to carry out the role of a black sheep. But normally the golden child is not used to that level of humiliation and everything, because remember, the black sheep is also that individual who always takes up a lot of humiliation and disgrace from the family. So the lost child, normally, when the black sheep leaves that entire unit, it is actually what the lost child that usually comes in to take up the role of the emotional baggage of that family. So they come in and take up that role of being a black sheep. So for a lot of you guys who have been in those kind of dysfunctional families, you can already concur with me. You know all these dynamics, what is going on. But you see, the problem is, unknowingly, the black sheep has been bearing all the burdens of the family within the unit. So whenever things were not going right, whenever there was somebody to blame, whenever there was a problem happening in that family, there was always somebody who was supposed to take the blame. So all the barrows would point towards the direction of the black sheep. Because remember, the dysfunction, the narcissistic parent at the top, usually the narcissistic parent at the top, they're hiding a lot of things beneath the surface. And for some reason, the reason why they actually decide to appoint that particular individual, in this case we're talking about the black sheep, that is because they are supposed to make sure that they protect their image. You know what I mean? Because the narcissistic parent usually, they are dying very hard and they're struggling very hard to protect the image of the family. So they have got to do everything in their power at all costs to make sure that the image of the family appears normal, appears natural to the individuals around them, because of course there's these other people looking, there's aunties who is coming in, friends and relatives, all these other people around the circle, they're coming in to see that family. And normally, as soon as they come in, they've got to make sure that they find the whole entire family unit in place and everything is supposed to look perfect. But behind closed doors, there's a dysfunction happening. And again, you guys already know that the black sheep is the only one in that family that they're usually actually seeing that dysfunction for what it is. And normally they have also seen it from the very beginning at a very young age. They have always figured out that there's some things that are not making sense, some things are not adding up, and they're asking a lot of questions. And that is the reason why sometimes the truth has always been suppressed, even from a very young age. So you may have found yourself as a black sheep that at a very young age, you have been sometimes calling out your parents. So of course, in this case, we're talking about parents, but a black sheep could have been in different other situations, other units, whereby not necessarily they haven't been your parents. So there could have been other different units, environments that you have grown in, and you happen to be a scapegoat in those units. So the family, the narcissistic parent at the top, they're hiding a lot of things. And normally what happens is that the black sheep, they're looking through their parents. They can see all these little dots. They can somehow almost figure out what is happening. It's like they can add up the pieces at a very young age. And sometimes because the black sheep, they are very innocent souls, especially when we're talking about those cases whereby they're still young and evolving, you know what I mean? So they will usually see those little things that are not adding up within the unit. So they will always call out the parents. They will ask the questions. Why did you do this? Why did you say that to mommy? Why did you do this to my brother? Why did you do that? So they will always, every now and then, ask those parents, what are they doing exactly and the intentions of their actions. Now, of course, because those parents, they're narcissists, first of all, those parents will not take that lightly. They will know that somewhere, somehow, there is one particular member in the family that is almost figuring them out and they're catching up on their bullshit. So what happens is that the parents, they will start to punish those particular individuals in that family. Now, a black sheep, if they're not careful, if a black sheep is not careful, that situation can go on and on. It may sometimes go on for the rest of their lives, because remember, these are particular roles that have been assigned to them, and sometimes those roles, you are the black sheep that has been used to that kind of patterns for all your life, for all your entire life, for as long as you've been involved in those toxic family units. And those roles, most of the cases, they can go on for the rest of your life. But again, we cannot also forget to say that sometimes those roles, they are going to take a very big toll on you. So as a black sheep, you will notice that you are going to lose a lot of things. You know, you will lose a lot of friends, because as a black sheep, again, remember, you are not supposed to have a lot of friends. So whenever your parents will see you carrying, let's say, getting involved with different people around you, maybe sometimes you have got new friends coming into your circle, the first thing your parents are going to do, they are going to refuse and reject and actually even send out those friends out of your life. And again, we're talking about those cases whereby you're still in your early days of evolution. So you will notice that as a black sheep, you're usually very isolated. You will not have friends. Anybody you try to get into contact with, those parents are going to see that you're trying to get into contact with somebody, and they're going to advise you, even sometimes they're going to encourage you to leave those particular individuals alone, and they want you by themselves. They want you to come and participate in that role that you're supposed to carry on in that family. So the black sheep, normally, that is one of the things you will see whereby you will usually be isolated most part of your life. You will usually go through a lot of problems. Sometimes that role will go on even as you grow up as a child, because remember, this is some kind of a conditioning. So even if you go to schools, like you join some kind of schools, colleges, or things like that, you're also going to notice that you're always going to be scapegoated wherever you go. So that conditioning normally starts from the beginning. It starts from the early childhood, whereby your parents start conditioning you in a particular way, and that conditioning programs you for failure. So the parents, the narcissistic parents, normally they are programming and conditioning the black sheep to fail, because remember, that's a dysfunction going on. So when other people look into the family unit, they will see that, oh, why has this guy failed, or things like that. So the parent will now start to say, oh, those are the guys, they never listened to me, they didn't want to do what I wanted, they never took my advice, so the parents, they're always going to make sure that they come out as authentic. They come out, they're always going to be on the defense, they're always going to defend themselves. But remember, as they're defending themselves, somebody is also taking the blame for whichever mess they have always caused in that family entire unit, in that entire family unit. So basically, the black sheep, they always go through a lot, they suffer a lot, they go through a lot of pain. Wherever the families are celebrating something, they are the ones who are left out. Whenever the family is going left, they are going right. Because again, remember, these black sheep, they are non-conformists, so they don't conform with the whole family unit. You will find them sometimes they are doing their own stuff. They are deciding to go their own way. They are moving their own direction, so they don't usually want to conform. And it's because of that non-conformist that is exactly also what brings about the problem. Because now the parents, they believe that those guys, because they don't see the family the way those parents want them to see it, they see it in a different way. Because remember, these guys, they're truth tellers, so they can look beyond the veil. Normally, at a very young age, they can see all the BS that is going on. So they somehow believe, the narcissistic parents, they somehow believe that the black sheep, they're going to become a problem. Because remember, these guys, they're going around sometimes, even sometimes subconsciously, they may start to speak about some things that are going on with their family. And the narcissistic parents, they're always very intimidated because they feel that somehow those secrets that are being hidden beneath the surface, those secrets are trying to get out there. And the parents, remember, they are protecting a very big secret, a very, very big dysfunction happening beneath the surface. So they are protecting an image. First of all, an image of themselves, and secondly, the whole image of the entire family unit. But again, somebody has got to take that role, who is the black sheep, and that is where the problem comes, because now the black sheep is becoming the sacrificial lamb. So that is the reason why you see a lot of black sheep, by the time they leave those family units, they are extremely tired, they're extremely exhausted. It's like they can, even sometimes they have got even already problems with their health. So they're already struggling. It's very, very difficult. Normally, when you have been in a toxic family unit, it takes a lot of time, because remember, it is also that case whereby you have been trying to grow up with individuals that you thought they were your family members. They love you. They have got all these nice feelings about you, nice opinions about you. But at the end, beneath the surface, they have actually just been trying to feed off your energy. So they have just been like trying to take advantage of you. They have been dumping a lot of stuff on you. And again, that's where also the problem comes, because remember, if you're dealing with the dysfunction whereby you have a lot of family members within that unit, everybody is going to point their barrels towards you. Somebody has failed let's say somebody has failed the interview, the job interview, they won't come back at home, they will point the barrels at you. Somebody has got an argument outside of the house, they will come back and point the fingers at you. And on top of that as well, the narcissistic parent also. So all the barrels within that family unit, they are pointing towards one direction. Nobody wants to take any blame or any responsibility of their actions and their own decisions. So what they do, because of that, they cannot handle take the blames. So what they do, they all point the barrels towards the black sheep. So the black sheep normally faces very, very difficult circumstances, because the black sheep is usually the sacrificial lamb, is the person that they have decided to sacrifice. So for the whole entire family unit to survive, the black sheep has got to be there to take that blame and take all the burdens and all the weight and all the baggage that the entire family has got to carry. So that's why you see the black sheep normally, and again, that's why I've said in my recent video yesterday, I've said that those black sheep, they are the strongest individuals in that family. But again, they have got to, a lot of these family members, they will sometimes feel these individuals, they are fighters. They persevere, they fight, it's like those guys, they keep on fighting for their own rights, you know what I mean? But again, they don't want them to come out and shine, because on a deep level, they know that those particular individuals, they are very powerful from within, because they can see some of the things they are doing. And they also know those guys, they are very intelligent, because some of the times they are doing things that nobody else can do in that family, and they are saying things that nobody else can say, which is even the reason why those black sheep, they are the only capable individuals who are able to speak out and call out their own parents for the BS, for the nonsense they are doing, or for the things that they're doing. They're the only ones who are capable. No one else in that family, entire unit, is capable of calling out those narcissistic parents for the things they are doing and the wrongs they are doing. So a lot of family members, they know that those individuals, they are very powerful from the spirit, their spirits, their souls. They're very powerful from within. So a lot of those guys, they know that on a very subconscious level. They know that something is different with that individual. So what they will do now, they will all gang up and join with the narcissistic parent, because remember, this is a whole dysfunction going on. So there's a lot of family members involved in the whole thing. So what happens is that now the narcissistic parent unites with so many family members in the team, and they usually start ganging up on the black sheep. Now that thing forms a very, very serious conditioning, and that conditioning, unless a black sheep awakens, which again, eventually, Most of the black sheep, of course, at the end of the day, they have usually awakened from this dysfunction. That is the only way they're going to start healing. Number one, what they do, they extract themselves, they identify this dysfunction, what has been going on, they identify this role of being a black sheep. So they excuse themselves from those units. They now start going through a very long process of healing. A lot of black sheep I've seen, the ones that I know, the ones I've come into contact with, they have they have seriously been destroyed by those dysfunctional families, and they have usually carried a lot of weight and a lot of baggage from those dysfunctional units. So what happens is that the reason why I'm talking about the sacrificial lamb is because you will notice as a black sheep that it's like there's a very big team of individuals in that family. They're almost trying to suck the life out of you. You know what I mean? It's like there's nothing you'll ever do is correct. There's nothing you'll ever say is correct. There's nothing you'll ever do is right. There's nowhere you will ever go, will always be validated. You will be left out. You will be blamed. You will have a lot of individuals who are going to point the barrows at you. And everything you will ever do, it will never be validated by other family members. So all the time you will notice that a lot of things you do, you know, nobody wants to recommend you. Nobody wants to support you. Nobody wants to come out to come to your rescue. Whenever you're suffering, they want to let you go on and suffer because they believe you have got a right to suffer. You know, a lot of those family members, they are conditioned to believe that you have got a right to face whatever it is you're going through because they have all been conditioned by the family, by the narcissistic parent, that particular individual, you guys should forget about them. You know, those guys, they're rebellious. They don't listen to me. You know, I tell them this, they do this. I send them this side, they go that side. So a lot of times the conditioning usually happens whereby those parents, they are now convincing all the family members that you are the problem, you are the chaotic one, you're the problematic one. So it's like all of them now, they start to turn against you and they don't see any value in you. The only thing they see is somebody that they can, you know, whenever they think, oh, there's something is going on there, they have got shortcomings, you know. I've seen that along my journey. So many times I've seen that along my journey. Of course, family members sometimes would lose items or things like that. They would say it was me who has lost those items because they would not like to take responsibility for their own actions and their own behaviors. So most of the cases, when you came out and try to speak with them, sometimes even it could be something, because remember, these guys, these black sheep, they are very, very smart people, very intelligent and very smart, and at the same time, they're very kind and empathetic. So most of the times they are coming into feeling those gaps that are missing within the family. So whenever they see a family member suffering, a family member going down, or sometimes there's something going on, they have always been coming in to make sure that that thing gets dealt with immediately, because they can see what is exactly happening. And again, this is also going to be very shocking, because as the black sheep is watching a lot of family members, well, I've seen it in my journey whereby I would see family members suffering, going through a lot of pain and everything. So sometimes I would come out, I would tell the other guys, hey, you know what, there's this person here, this is what they need to do, this is how we need to help them, that's how we need to protect them, that's how we need to do this. But it's like the whole family members, they cannot see this. A lot of them, they are too much absorbed with their own life and their own issues, so they are not even concerned. But as a black sheep, being an empath and a very strong individual, again, that person also who can see through the BS, is like they always come out and try to rescue other family members who are going through some kind of problems. They have always been at the rescue. But believe me or not, guys, it doesn't matter what you do. You will always come out. You will save family members. You will help them. You will do everything in your power to make sure that they feel better about themselves, or they get some answers to their problems. It doesn't matter how much you do, guys. As long as you finish that role of making them feeling better, validating them, or things like that, they will always come back and put you back in that role of being a black sheep. So it is very painful when we start talking about a black sheep being a sacrificial lamb. It is one of the biggest pain a black sheep will ever endure. And a lot of family members will not understand when the black sheep decides to say that, okay, it is enough. Most of the time, like I've said, you guys remember I've said that the black sheep normally, they awaken from this dysfunction. So what they do, they awaken and extract themselves out of that unit. So there's a lot of people who don't understand this. They cannot see this because, again, it comes back to that whole conditioning of the narcissistic parent, the conditioning that they are put into their heads to make them believe that particular individual, you guys should put your focus away from that individual, because whatever they are saying, it doesn't make sense. Whatever they're talking. So there is that conditioning in the family whereby there is no validation when it comes to the black sheep. Nothing will ever do, you will ever say will always be validated. You know what I mean? So me personally, that is what caused me to actually extract myself out of the dysfunction, because when I started to see it, I started to understand it. Whichever truth I had a lot of truth, I had a lot of facts, but whenever I came out to speak about those facts and the truth, they were invalidated and they were actually ignored by other family members. So for me, that is in my journey. That's the reason why I decided to extract myself out of that unit and just carry on and follow my own dreams and my own goals. And of course, on top of that, also come to that sense of healing, because remember, a lot of healing has got to happen. You know what I mean? So the black sheep, being a sacrificial lamb, also they come to that point whereby they also have a problem with when it comes to their life, their personal lives, the lives they live in, the lives in their schools, colleges, so whenever they go out to school, they are always going to be scapegoated, because that conditioning keeps on following them along their journey. You know what I mean? So they keep on getting scapegoated, they keep on being bullied, they keep on getting teased. So you see them a lot of times, they are struggling even in schools. Sometimes they cannot perform well because they always feel that sense of low self-esteem. You know what I mean? So because remember that they have always been beaten down from a very young age. So that conditioning brings them to that realization that actually they are not enough. There's nothing they will ever do is enough. Nothing they will ever say is valid or matters or things like that. So they carry on with that conditioning for a very long time, and sometimes it takes a very big toll on them as well. So also when it comes to getting into relationships, finding love, or meeting potential intimate partners or something like that, you will see those kind of guys as well. They are also going to attract a lot of people who are also kind of going to take advantage of them. You know what I mean? So that's why you see a lot of black sheeps, even on this channel. A lot of them, they have ended up having a lot of problems with the relationships, dating. When it comes to dating, they have ended up dating narcissists. You know what I mean? Because somehow they think they didn't deserve better, or they didn't deserve the best. So they have always been conditioned to think they do not deserve the best. That thing comes from the family, and that is exactly also the reason why they have continued to attract a lot of toxic relationships and the things like that. So all in all, I'm trying to tell you in this video, guys, the black sheeps out there, it is painful. I understand, because I've walked that journey as well. So it is painful to be a black sheep, a scapegoat in that family. But I also have to encourage you in this video and tell you that the chosen ones, you guys are the chosen ones. So those particular things you've been seeing going on in your life, in your circle, those particular things have been happening for a reason, because you were supposed to you were put in that family for a purpose. The only reason you were put in that family was exactly to come in and intercept and break all these kind of patterns that have been going on with that unit. You may have sacrificed a lot. Again, that's why they call you usually have been termed as a sacrificial lamb, because you have sacrificed a lot, and a lot of the family, they have also put you in that role as a lamb that is going to take all the baggage and the pains and the BS and the problems. You are going to carry a lot of weight in that entire unit. So everything has been happening for a reason, and at the end of the day, I will guarantee you, if it hasn't happened already, I'll also guarantee you that usually the black sheep, because of the pain they go through and the torture and the torment they endure all their lives, that is exactly what causes them to snap and to wake up from this kind of sleep. Because remember, you have been conditioned and been put in a certain position, and you've been put to sleep. So normally what happens, the black sheep, normally it is what pain they go through and the endurance they experience and all these things they go through during their life, that is exactly the things that cause them actually to snap and wake up. And at one point, you should, if it hasn't happened already, you should be aware that as a black sheep in your family, one day you're going to snap. You will come out here and see the things I've seen. You will actually confirm the things I'm talking about today. And again, if that has been your journey, if I'm speaking to you as a sacrificial lamb, I would like to know what has been the experience as well in the comment section below. Do not forget, there's always a light at the end of the channel, at the end of the tunnel. Those patterns will end at some point. Everything will end as long as and as soon as you snap and wake up from that deep sleep. So let me know, guys, what you think about this video in the comment section below. I always love and appreciate your support. You want a session with me, get to me, reach out to me in my email. The email is in the description. You would like to support this channel, you would like to donate, I also welcome those kind of donations and support. Let me know what you think as well. Leave us a comment and I'll get back to you in my next one. Much love and blessings. There's more signing out. Peace.